What happens when you invest over $200,000 into an app only for it to all go wrong and to lose it all?
I paid so much of my own money. It got to the point where I had to get lawyers involved and just tell them to stop.
Today, I'm sitting down with Bec Miller, the founder of Health with Bec. She has scaled her business to doing almost $7 million in revenue per year and over 7,000 people inside her memberships.
I had no idea that I'd be a CEO of a multi-million-dollar business. I'm really proud of the size of my business and more importantly, how many women I'm impacting. It's a beautiful feeling to know that I'm making such a big impact. Having a business that makes a difference in people's lives is the best feeling.
So let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to Unstoppable Success.
Thanks so much for having me, Jess. I can't wait to chat today.
Okay, we are going to get into all the nitty-gritty in your business, and I am so excited because you have just had so much incredible fast success. But before we get into that, I am all about having an unapologetic brag. Like, let's get really obnoxious about celebrating your wins, celebrating your success. So what's something you're really, really proud of that you've done or achieved recently?
Oh, okay, you just hit me with that one. Well, I'm just proud for where I've got my business, I guess. We were chatting a bit before this interview, and when I first started, I had no idea that I'd be a CEO of a multi-million-dollar business, and I'm doing that. And I guess I'm just proud of that every day because, yeah, I think that's the main thing I'm proud of. Just where I've got the business from, someone that was just in her parents' spare bedroom consulting one-on-one with, I had really bad gut issues, which we might get into. But yeah, I'm really proud of the size of my business and more importantly, how many women I'm impacting.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that because you started your business because of your own gut health. And now you're literally impacting how many women do you have in your community right now?
In the membership, there's about 7,500.
Wow.
So in the subscription, and for my signature program, which is step one before that, there's roughly between 1,000 and 1,200 a week that join.
Yeah.
So yeah, quite a lot.
Massive. So let's just say tens of thousands of women. And I'm sure there's been so many women's lives that you've touched that maybe haven't even jumped in your programs yet. How does that feel when you go from the one-on-one impacting, still changing people's lives, but now changing thousands and thousands of people? How does that feel?
It's surreal. It's always surreal. Sometimes I need to stop myself and sort of realize what's going on. At times I get a little bit overwhelmed because I'm like, oh, holy crap. There's so many people trusting me and my advice, but it's amazing. It's, every day if I take a peek at the Facebook groups or look at my DMs, it's just constant. You've changed my life. I've been dieting for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and this is the only thing that's worked. So it's a beautiful feeling to know that I'm making such a big impact.
Yeah.
Through the business, it's great. We all want to have a successful business, but having a business that makes a difference in people's lives is the best feeling ever for me.
Did you ever feel the pressure? Because I think sometimes as business owners, when we are so passionate about what we do, we're like, I can change your life. Did you ever feel the pressure when it went from one-on-ones to thousands of women to kind of hold that responsibility for this many people?
Yeah, but I think it's been a gradual day by day, month by month, year by year thing that you just get used to it a bit because I've always been such a people pleaser. And I guess when I was one-on-one, I could have total control. Yeah. Obviously not control because you don't know what people are actually going to eat and do. But I did have control over communicating with them and following up with them and chatting with them. But then I had to really learn to let go of that because to scale, I had to get customer support and grow my team. And so it took a while to let go, but I said to myself, if I don't let go of this and trust other people to support them, then I'll only be able to impact 5 people a week instead of thousands. So yeah, it was a very tricky transition though to let go of that.
How did you, what was the mindset shift that you had to make to kind of let go of that a little bit more?
Well, it was exactly that. I was like, if I want to change thousands of women's lives, I can't do it all. I can't talk to them one-on-one. And so I just said to myself, I can either impact, 5 people a week or it'll be thousands, but they won't be able to get access to me properly. But the thing that really helped me, and this is quite unique with my business, I released some of that fear and control because I've decided that about 90% of my team are actually from the Health with Vet tribe, my membership. So they're so passionate about the approach. And I really believe that if you're passionate about something, you're going to do good work.
Yeah.
Because you know how people always say, like, no one's going to do your job as well as you as the business owner. I know that's not true, but I do believe that my team do an incredible job because they live and breathe the Health with Bec approach and they've had their own health transformation. So that has made me feel a lot less stressed about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially if they're supporting people in their journey, having that relatability on I've been where you are.
Yeah.
Is the most valuable thing that I think is hard for a lot of business owners because not everyone has sort of an incredible tribe that they can pull from to find their team as well. So yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. And then the other thing that really helps is that I'm quite OCD with, you know, of course I want the advice that they give to be still what I would say. So I've really started, I don't know, it was probably 4 years ago, a spreadsheet with every single question that someone would ask, and then I would answer it in my own words. And so the staff use that to answer questions in the Facebook group or emails. And so over the years, it's just built up and up to be over 1,000 responses to different sorts of questions because there's so many with health. You know, like I've got menopause plus this gut issue. Can I have this bread? Or like there's just so many different.
Very specific.
Yeah. So anytime they don't have an answer, they'll add it to the spreadsheet, notify me, and then I'll go and answer it, and then it's there for the future. So it's like building up a bank.
Yeah.
Which is actually eventually it's getting turned into like an AI bot soon as well.
Working smarter, not harder. I think it's so powerful with AI now. Like what we can do to replicate ourselves is incredible.
Yeah.
So good. Okay. I want to talk about your quote unquote overnight success because it has been 9 years in the making, but you kind of shifted your business model, I guess, from the one-on-ones to more of the tribe. And it just took off. And even now you're continuing to have incredibly fast success in how you're scaling and how you're growing. Walk me through how you kind of made that pivot and what it's been like from there.
So the first thing I'll say is that when I went from one-on-one to selling online products, definitely wasn't an overnight success then. I mean, to me, I felt like it really was. I think it turned, I don't know, my income from $700 a week to like $1,500 or something like that in a year. And I just thought that was incredible. And this was going back like 4 years ago. But it was a big, big, big transition, as you would know, like, you know, learning about just so many different things for an online business, how to word things correctly, how to build the sales page so that it converts. So the first year or two was great, but I was still learning every single day, binging podcasts, you know, doing it all. And then it started to definitely grow after I invested in a business course. It was James Wetmore's course. Instead of just trying to listen to podcasts and do it all myself.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a game changer, and that made the business grow quite a lot about 3 years ago. And then I was just like, I know that my sales page is converting really well. The product works. The reviews are incredible. So I sort of felt like I had so much of the groundwork done, and I knew that it worked and that it sold. But the thing that was missing for me was just trying to get more eyeballs. And so 2 years ago now, it actually would be exactly 2 years.
Wow.
I decided to change my Facebook ads agency because I was with them for a couple of years, but things weren't going that great. I knew in my gut, like, something isn't right. Like something's not right. All I need is more eyeballs.
Yeah.
And then I stalked this company down, and they're a boutique agency in Brisbane, and they, I guess, were what the game changer was with the growth that I've had in 2 years, because I don't want to say that in the way that I think when you choose a Facebook ads agency, they're definitely not the answer for everything.
Yes.
But for me, I think it's because I had like that well-oiled machine built up first, and I knew that it was just the eyeballs that I needed.
Yep.
So they mainly repurpose heaps of my reviews and results, and that's what's caused it to just grow a lot in the last couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah, huge. What has been some of maybe the growing pains? Because I think as so many entrepreneurs set these big goals, and I am all for like, let's set the quantum leap goal, let's just fast track it to that next level. But there's challenges that come with every single level. What has that been like, that journey for you, and how you've had to kind of build out your business to support that growth?
Yeah, the challenges. There's a lot of challenges, but, and especially recently, there's been a massive challenge that I've gone through. Luckily, and I'm sure you'd be the same, but with the challenges, that's exactly what makes you grow. So I've learned to see those challenges as positives, because I'm like, okay, if I get through this, I'll be stronger. And it's just inevitable. You know, the more you grow, the more challenges you get, but you just get used to each level. One of the biggest ones for me, and I know that a lot of other businesses would agree, is definitely your team. You know, it's building a team. The biggest challenge there was, I guess, letting go, like I just said before, and being comfortable for a while, a couple of months, with maybe getting ever so slightly less income, because you've got to spend that time to write all your systems down before you can hire someone.
Yeah.
But then when you hire someone, they, can free up some hours in your week, then you can do the work that actually helps your business grow, and then you see the results. So I guess that was probably like my first challenge in terms of the staff. Before that, there was so many other challenges as well, but I can't even remember. There's just so many.
Yeah.
And then I guess in the last couple of years, it was especially when the rapid growth happened. For me, the more that I grow, the more customer service I need, because there's, people that have login issues, or they're inquiring about the program, or they have user questions. And so customer service in my business is really high. There's a lot of volume of emails. So I had to hire a team, like a team very fast. I think I had about two women on customer support before the rapid growth happened 2 years ago. And then within, I don't know, it was only like 3 months, we had to hire 2 or 3 more, and then another 2 or 3 more, like 3 months after that. So that's not very long to hire more people. Yeah. And luckily my team member, Kat, who was already all over everything, she actually really helped train them, which was great.
Yeah.
But moving fast to adjust to rapid growth is tricky. But I do think that I set the groundwork out well back then to have very clear systems. And I really did like how Kat could train them as well, because that helped me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms of growing, obviously it grows revenue, it grows income, but then there's that extra investment, whether it's team, and a lot of people get stuck with this like chicken or the egg dilemma. Do I need the clients first, or do I need the staff first? Or which one do I invest in? Do I wait until I've got the customers and then I hire the staff? Do I hire the staff so that I can get the customers? Do you have any advice for someone who's maybe at that pivotal point?
Oh, I reckon that's so tricky. It really is. I think you do need to be clear on, okay, what tasks am I doing repetitively that I shouldn't be doing, that aren't in my line of genius? And start with, even if you only even if it's only a job for 6 hours a week, I don't know if this is what other people do, but this is what worked for me, because the business was like, how many sales are going to make next week? How do I know? I did really have a clear idea of, okay, it's roughly, I don't know, every time I've hired a team member, it will be like roughly 6 to 17 hours a week or something. And I'll say to them, it'll be in the job description, it's a casual role. It'll start on this, but, here are all the perks, blah, blah, blah. You get freedom and you can work from home. And so I've kind of started all of my staff on casual sort of contract-based contracts, where they invoice me each week with how long they work as an hourly rate. And then I'm honest with that. And then after about 3 months, maybe 4 to 5, it's ended up working out so that I'm like, okay, now they are working sort of 15 hours consistently each week, and then I can put them on an actual contract. So I've always just been really honest, and I've gone, I don't really know how many hours it will be exactly, but if you're open to working casually, and it's usually sort of mums that have kids and that works, they don't want a full-time job. So that's what's worked for me. Does that answer that question?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. So I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about money. I am all about, I think women need to speak about money more, because I remember when I first saw someone earning $30,000 a month, I was like, oh my gosh, it blew my mind. But what it also did was plant a seed that, oh my gosh, that might be possible for me too. And so the more I think we can get proximity to income, numbers, and women making bank, I think it empowers more women too as well. So can you give us a little bit of an insight where you're comfortable to on where you're kind of at the moment? I remember you spoke on a podcast a little while ago about your $1 million quarter, but I know things have evolved since then. So give us a little rundown and insight.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to, because I totally agree. It's something that women don't talk about enough. And I'm the same. Like if I hear that someone else has done it, then I know, oh my gosh, that's possible for me too, because it really is possible for anyone.
Yeah.
At the moment, so in the last year, like revenue wise, it was just under 7 mil that the business brought in, and profit about 1.7.
Yeah. Congrats.
Thank you. So that's where it is at the moment.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And in terms of that, what are some of your biggest kind of income streams?
So biggest income streams, so I've got my 2 online programs, the Through Body Reset, and then the Healthy Bec Tribe is my subscription. So it's a one-off payment for the Through Body Reset, low price point. So it's evergreen, so people can join whenever they want, which really works for me. I don't have that pressure to do, launches a few times a year. And I also do I'm like an affiliate with a few brands, so I get some commission income. But that's good, but that's definitely it's not my biggest at all. It's mainly my programs.
But it's really cool, because I think people can see, okay, I see you sell a program, I can see it on your website, but I think it's these cool extra income streams that come from building such an awesome personal brand, building a community, and being able to have like the extra. It's almost like fun little creative outlets that also get to bring in income and create partnerships that, again, support your community, support your mission. So, I really appreciate you being so open around that, because I think there's no right or wrong way to build a business. Your business is kind of quantity, and mine, I'm kind of scaling by doing less clients, but they get more access to me. And so neither is wrong or right or the way to do it. And some people have a combination. Some people create their own way. And I think that's always the key to success is kind of finding, okay, what is that vision? Getting clear on that. And then what way do I like to work, and building your business model.
Absolutely.
To suit that.
100%. Yeah. You can do it either way. But even me just saying that then, it took me, when I did record that podcast where I shared about that $1 million quarter, I had so much, I was happy to share it, but I definitely had a lot of fear around it.
What fears kind of came up?
It was the fear of, are people going to judge? Are they going to think I'm more entitled? I don't know, all the money blocks that you sort of have, and I was just a bit fearful to, it was on other people's podcasts, but of course they wanted to then for me to cross promote it. But the episode title was $1 million quarter, and I was proud of myself, but I just had so many fears as well. Like, are people going to see me differently now? Are they going to think I'm bragging? But it's amazing talking about it now. I'm more comfortable with it, because I just know that most people would find it inspiring. And especially because money has not ever been my first driving factor. It's been definitely a side effect of me wanting to change people's lives. So now I sort of see it as, wow, if I'm making that much money, that means I'm just impacting more lives. And so that makes me feel way more comfortable talking about it on a podcast like this.
That's so powerful, because I think what you said in there is you're driven by purpose first. And I think, when I speak to some business owners who are maybe just starting out, the ones that get frustrated, the ones who are ready to give up, is because they're chasing the money. I honestly would pay to be able to do what I get to do. I'd be like, let me pay you so I can show up and do this every single day. And I think almost when you find that, you're like, oh, that's a nice bonus. I look at the accounting and it just kind of happens, but it's not the driving force. But it's also like totally okay to be like, sure, I'm also building my wealth and that also is a huge permission slip to other women as well.
Exactly. You know, at the end of the day, we of course we want to like live abundant lives. You know, if we can, why not make it happen?
Yeah.
So it's good to talk about that and share that because, yeah, if you're still helping people like you are and I am, then why not reap the rewards as well? Because it's hard work. It's not easy, as you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that building your wealth has allowed you to do?
Oh, just travel freedom. I love, and I know that you love that too. I've become a very spontaneous traveler in the way that I book so last minute. I went to Dubai with my best friend on New Year's Eve and we booked that the day before.
Yeah.
And there's just, so many last minute things, but I love being able to do that.
Yeah.
Depending on how I feel and what's happening with work. But I love working in new locations. And I think that's my favorite benefit of having the income to be able to do that because, and I think you've said that you feel the same in this way, but I learned a few years ago when I sort of got a travel bug because I didn't travel for the first 5 years of my business. I was so dedicated of just working at home, putting every single cent that I earned back in the business. And I was so busy that I was like, I don't have time to travel. But then 2 years ago, I did take myself to Italy for a solo trip.
Yeah.
It was actually 2.5 years ago now. And that changed the game for me because my creativity went up so much. My confidence went up. My business grew as a result. And I taught myself that actually, I don't have to be in my, routine at home and working this many hours a day to, keep making money. It was better work when I was away.
Yeah.
So definitely travel freedom to be able to do that. And I've bought myself a really beautiful house as well, which I really love too.
So beautiful. The views.
It's so nice. Yeah. So that felt really good to be able to do that and just live in a place because I work from home still. Live in a place that brings me so much creativity too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it all really works in a circle.
Yeah. I love travel. Just travel. I always have my most abundant months, the most sales flow through, the best ideas. Like you said, the business grows and it doesn't make logical sense that when I travel, I make the most money or I make the most impact because you're kind of on your computer less, but it makes so much sense at the same time. Just the energetics of being in a new environment, being inspired and kind of just living your life to the fullest. Because if you're the leader, you're kind of the face of your brand. If we don't feel our best, then how can people be magnetized towards that? Exactly.
Like people are investing in us. And so if we're not showing up as our best selves, then they're not going to want to invest in us. So it's all about making, for me, it's just all about making my life feel as happy as it can be because then I'm going to show up better for work.
Yeah.
And then more people's lives are going to change and the more it's going to grow. So, it definitely works in a circle there. Like the better you feel, the better you work, the more sales you make.
Yeah.
And it was also really beautiful, like because I do a lot of solo travel, it was really beautiful, for instance, that last Dubai trip that I went on, I took my best friend and being able to do that was incredible too because I could share my success with someone else and I've been wanting to go on a holiday with her for so long. So that was really cool.
Oh, so beautiful. I think, the more wealth we build, the more you can give back and just treat the people in your lives and change lives and just everything good that comes from it.
Absolutely.
So, so good. I actually want to ask quickly around like feeling your best. Obviously, health is one of the biggest pillars to that. And I've been on my own health journey because for me, it wasn't travel that stopped in the first 5 years. It was my health. And I wasn't eating really until 3 p.m. I wasn't like doing anything to look after myself. And I think for me now, it's a non-negotiable. Eating before I start the day, like going to the gym, exercising, doing all of these things. But it's so easy when you get super busy for that to be almost the first thing that goes. How do you kind of navigate that? Do you ever kind of like, oopsie, that was not a good health day for me? Or like, how do you kind of stay on track when you have so much going on?
I have the mindset of what I just said with travel. Like if I don't feel good, I'm not going to do good work.
Yeah.
And so no matter how busy I am, of course, some days are inevitable, but no matter how busy I am, if I don't make the time to go to the gym, even if it's literally just for like 10 minutes on the treadmill and 2 weight machines, just something tiny or a small walk in nature, if I don't do that, I see how it's like I notice that my overwhelm and my anxiety is worse for the day. I don't feel grounded. I don't feel clear in the head. So my sort of morning movement time is always scheduled in. It just is, and it's become a habit because then I'm actually going to do better work. Yeah. So that's one of the things, I guess, and that's definitely obviously health related. With food, I guess I've been eating well for so long that if I have really busy weeks and busy periods, like the last 3 weeks of me have been like an inevitably, unexpectedly overwhelming, like busy 3 weeks. I have a couple of go-to recipes that are like 5 minutes to make. So I'll always keep sort of like certain pantry staples in my fridge and pantry just to make easy 5-minute meals. And I just say that it's okay to myself if I get takeaway a little bit more, but it's healthy takeaway. It'll be something like rice paper rolls or a healthy stir fry or a salad. Yeah. Or I'm very lucky. My parents live around the corner, so I'll just go there for dinner. Yeah. So I kind of make do with definitely still trying to avoid, sugar and food that are going to make my energy and brain crash. Mm-hmm. But I just opt for a little bit more takeaway, 5-minute meals, and go to my parents more for dinner.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. No, so good. Okay. So as you've been building your business, obviously it requires investing in staff, investing in tools or advice or programs or even ads and things like that. And I think one of the biggest things that I think caps our growth is we get in this comfort zone where we're comfortable making a certain amount and spending a certain amount, because if we suddenly then invest more, the payoff is never guaranteed. Mm-hmm. And I know that you've been really open with speaking about your journey on wanting to create this app to just create the most incredible experience for your clients, and it not going to plan, to say the least. So can you take us through what the idea was behind doing that and what's kind of played out?
The app that I'm building is still going to contain my existing programs. So the business model that I have at the moment, I know works. And so what I'm doing is just creating a far more customized version with my own app, so that it's just going to improve certain things. And so I guess from that knowledge, because I know it's the same products that I'll be selling, but it will be improved, I did have the confidence to be able to invest. And I've self-funded the whole thing myself. Still a lot of money, Yeah. So I decided to hire an app development team, and then worked so insanely hard. I don't know if anyone's listening, if you've built an app, you would know, but it was just, you think that you're just going to tell the app developers what you want, they build it and it's done. That's probably what a lot of people think. Yeah. But it's not. They're developers. They don't have the business brain. So you need to literally guide every single step of the way. So it was a huge journey. Long story short, about 10 months in, actually the whole way through, I was definitely having issues. I was like, is this, I don't know, they just kept asking for things that I basically started to realize that the experience wasn't what I thought it was with that team, which meant I was getting pulled in for just way more time and questions than I thought. And it was a very stressful 10 months. Ended up turning out that at about 10 months in, I was like, this app is actually just not great. And I wasn't happy with the team. And they kept, basically I signed a contract when I started with them that was going to be, I think they promised me it was going to be $70,000. And they really pitched to me that, app development teams always, you always sign, but then they always add more and more and more on, but we promise we don't do that. Like, we're so different to everyone else. And so me being a very trusting person, and I've grown so much since then, signed that. But then about 2 or 3 months later, it was actually after my business had just started growing with this new Facebook ads team. They saw that rapid growth, and timing wise, I don't know if this is absolutely true, but I definitely think it was. I got another contract and they were like, it's going to be an extra $110,000 now.
Oh my gosh.
Because
almost another 2 times.
Yeah. Because of this, and I believed them, because you get effed over a lot by app teams, because we don't understand if you're not an app developer, you don't know if building that little section is X amount of hours. You just, I don't know about app development. So yeah, I paid so much of my own money. Oh. And then when it got to 10 months in or 11 months in, it got to the point where I had to get lawyers involved and just tell them to stop, even though it was about, I don't know, 70% ready, I guess, if it was
Wow.
ever going to launch. And it was the most horrible thing that happened because as soon as I said stop work, they hid like straight away, not even like a day later, hid everything that I owned, all the design files, like in the contract I own, whatever I do with them I own.
Yeah.
They hid everything from me.
Oh my gosh.
And that was nearly a whole year of my work. And it was a very stressful period because I had to work with lawyers to get what I own back. But I was stressed as well because I wanted this app to be done.
Yeah.
And to start with a new team, I needed the design files. And all the thousands of design screens took about 6 months to make. And me knowing how long I've heard from people, how long, law cases can take, I just said, I'm going to have to start from scratch. And I had to start from scratch again just over a year ago and go through
my gosh.
every single step from the start all over again with a brand new team. And
wow.
I lost nearly a whole year of work. And not only the work, it was my time that I was so upset about that I lost for a whole year.
And what, almost $200,000?
It ended up being 240, nearly 240.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just gone.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow.
Because they kept adding more on.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the new app costs
Yep.
as well.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So for anyone that might be like, oh my God, I'm never going to create an app. That sounds terrible. What advice would you have to someone, whether they're investing in an app, whether they're investing in staff members that don't work out?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's almost like part of the journey.
Yeah.
Part of the entrepreneurial journey. What advice would you have to someone around like your mindset? Because you're like, you know what? I could say, screw it. Nobody's getting an app. I'm going to cut my losses. I'm never making an app again. But you're like, no, actually, I'm going to keep going with this. I'm going to learn to trust again and go with a new company. What advice would you have to someone around investing in their growth and like how to move forward even if it doesn't work out?
Yeah. The first thing I would say is that you just have to invest if you want to grow. Like you just have to get comfortable with it. So you really have to. And obviously not everyone self-funds things themselves. There's other avenues that you can go down with, getting investors and things like that. The biggest thing that I learned was to not hire so quickly. And this is whether you're investing in, building an app or a program or a product, or you're hiring a new team member, make sure you don't hire as quickly as I did. I really like people's pitches to me on the phone, and if they're a nice person and all that, and I'll take that on board more than their resume. And I think both is important. I didn't look into their past work reviews enough. I think it's really important to look at their references.
Yeah.
Look at their past work, and don't worry if it takes time, because if it doesn't work out, then that's going to be a waste of time.
Yeah.
So for the next round, for this app team that I've got now, and this will be advice for everyone, no matter what you're building, I wanted to find someone that has built, really big apps, really big successful apps, but more specifically in the health industry, meal plans, recipes. I wanted someone that's done that before. So who I've got now has built a big health app. And so that made me feel really confident hiring them, and they've been amazing. Yeah.
So exciting.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it.
I can't wait as well.
You're going to have the biggest trip of your life to celebrate.
I can't even imagine the day, because now it's been an over 2-year journey.
Wow.
And it's so huge. It's not just the app. It's, I'm refilming every single tutorial.
Oh my gosh.
All of my, active campaign automations and how that links up. There's about over 100 that need to be tweaked, changed, rebuilt with how things link up. And it's I asked my app developers the other day, and I was like, is this one of the most complex ones you've done? And they just laughed. They were like, yeah, I think so. Because it's just complex behind the scenes, and no one will ever realize how much work it's actually been.
Wow. Where are you going when it's done?
Don't know yet. I don't know. I'll just fly out and not come back.
Spontaneous trip. Done. Oh my gosh. Okay. So you've been on such an incredible journey, and I know everyone is going to take so much away from this, because I think a lot of women have these big, big dreams, and I love your raw, open honesty, because I don't think enough people share all the sides to business, and your resilient mindset honestly, you are the definition of unstoppable. Like,
Thank you.
things thrown your way and you keep picking yourself up and you're like, I am a woman on a mission. But what would your definition of unstoppable be?
Just believing in yourself and knowing that you can do it, and just taking aligned steps every single day. Not only aligned steps, but really getting comfortable with saying no to what doesn't align.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're not going to grow in the goals that you want to grow in. And really, a lot of people think that I've got a, positive mindset and stuff. I do. It's taken practice. The main thing that I do is if a challenge arises, I let myself feel it. I let myself cry. Absolutely. I think I'm a very sensitive person. Like,
Yeah.
I would call myself a very weak, sensitive person who feels a lot. But I let myself feel it, and then I just reach out for as much support as I possibly can. And I just I always find the lesson and then how that's going to make me grow. And I think that's what keeps helping me grow all the time, is having that mindset for sure.
Seeing the silver linings.
Always.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you find them the next day or the day after that. With the app saga that happened, I was in my sort of upset stage for more than just a day or two.
Yes.
And I thought, when am I ever going to see the lessons or the silver lining? And it wasn't till probably 2 or 3 months later that I did see all the lessons. So they definitely come if you are open to seeing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard with some big things that happen.
Did you have to detach from losing the money?
Yeah, I absolutely did. But I did end up, we got to mediation, so the step just before going to court. And I did end up sort of getting back what I should have got back all of it, but I did get back what I felt, I guess, was worth fighting in the law case for, because that was a lot of work in itself, and money with the lawyers too. Yeah. So that helped a bit with that.
For sure. I think one of the hardest things is when we lose money, like, our brains are hardwired to try and avoid loss more than we try and chase gain. And it's like so hardwired that if we lose $5, we will feel so hard done by versus picking up $50. And so I think it's a journey. And even for me, I've lost thousands of dollars on many different times. But for me, I've always had to sort of detach, but also still stand up for yourself. And like what you did, chase after the money, but also you can't get like so deep in, oh my gosh, I need to get this back. Yeah. Because the amount of energy that goes into it, that could go into, okay, I'm going to build this new app and I'm going to choose to put my energy here. It's, so inspiring on how you've just navigated everything. Yeah. So
thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing absolutely everything with us. What is next for Health with Bec?
Launching this app, that's my main focus. I just believe if you're building something new, you've got to just focus on one thing at a time. And I'm also in a process of really cleaning up my business on the back end even more. So because it grew so fast, all of my systems are pretty good, but I'm like, I want to actually optimize things, find holes, what can be sped up. So that when I launch the app, the back end of the business is as good as it can be. Yeah. Just in case when I launch, it helps the business grow even more. I need that back end to be set up so that, things don't go absolutely wild. So that I can train more people when that happens. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, very exciting. I can't wait to see where you'll be in 6 months, 1 year time. I'm sure, knowing you, there'll be a whole new world of impact happening out there.
Thank you, Jess. It's been really awesome talking about it.
Thank you for sharing everything. And just like I said, being so raw and open is so incredible.
No, you're so welcome. Thank you for having me.